There is no doubt that governments at different levels are working hard to tackle insecurity as they evolve and confront the society. Therefore, the fact that we still have insecurity as a dominant issue in the society today is not only disturbing but also a pointer to the fact that securing lives and property can no longer be left to government and other authorities alone. In metropolitan Lagos, acts of crime and criminalities such as kidnapping, carjacking, gang raping, and body part hunting were once distant realities for many residents who hear of such incidences once in a while. Sadly, these have recently become commonplace and the happenings are now more frequent and too close for comfort. The question one may wish to ask and have answered is, what are the dynamics behind insecurity in a city like Lagos? Aside institutional responses to insecurity, are there other ways of effectively reducing the rate of crime in the state? These and more are our focus on the program today. And I have with me in the studio some panelists, but you get to meet them right after this break. I am Dotsun Oguyemi. Many thanks for joining us. All right, many thanks for joining us. And just again to give you a broader view of the topic, we're discussing the dynamics of insecurity in Lagos as it is today, which has taken really a different dimension from what many would have had it in the past. Just again to bring again to light the frequency of the acts that we now have in our society daily. So just to again give us a broader view and some insight into how to actually resolve these challenges, I have joining me in the studio on the panel today Dr. Dayo Kayode. He is a political technocrat and aviation safety expert. Many thanks for joining us.
Yeah, good afternoon, Doctor, and nice having me here.
All right, and I'm also being joined by Matthew Ipadin, the chairman PCRC Victoria Island.
Thank you very much, Mr. Edotu, for
All right.
having me here.
All right, thank you, Mr. Matthew. And joining us via Zoom, we have two guests. One is Mr. Patrick Agbambu, the CEO, Security Watch Africa Initiative, and a public safety advocate. Many thanks for joining us, Mr. Patrick.
Thank you very much.
And last but not the least, the people who run the show of security. I'm being joined by the Public Relations Officer of the Lagos State Command of the Nigeria Police Force, Muyiwa Adejobi. He joins us via Zoom.
Yeah, good afternoon. How are you doing?
All right, many thanks. Now, PPRO, just again to give us a view of what the situation is currently. You have a template of how security is being run in Lagos. Can you tell us what are the dynamics today and what is the present situation of security in Lagos?
Well, generally, in Lagos State, security of the state is not bad. We are doing well in that particular area. As you know, we have 110 divisions in Lagos State, 14 area commands. The Commissioner of Police, Lagos State Command CP Akim Olusegun Dumusu, has given a marching order to all of them, all the area commanders, additional police officers, to make sure there is adequate protection of lives and property in their various areas of responsibilities. Let me say this: the major crime we always record in Lagos is traffic robbery. And we are mindful of this, that we experience traffic all over the state, particularly at the peak hours. And these boys always come out to attack people in traffic. So we are mindful of this, and the Commissioner of Police has taken up that as a responsibility by sending additional men to the MTD, that is Motor and Traffic Division, to go around and arrest. And if you follow the trend of achievement of the command, you see on daily basis a lot of achievement on the arrest of these traffic armed robbers on regular basis. Additional 2,000 personnel have been deployed to MTV to augment the strength of that department to see how they use motorbikes in the traffic to curtail the activities of these boys. Secondly,
All right. Do we still have Mr. Muyiwa? I think we lost. All right. Okay. We seem to be having some technical difficulties, but by the time Mr. Miwa rejoins us, we'll be reconnecting with him. But again, live in the studio here, I have Dr. Dayo Kayode, who's here. I want to ask you, the dynamics we now see today. The PPRO talked about traffic robbery. That's not just the only issue that we have. We have kidnapping. We have again body part hunting. Ritualists on the prowl. How did we get here in the first place?
Yeah, in fact, that's exactly where I was wanting to go when we were talking about the dynamics of, You see, without looking at the root cause, the main root cause of all these issues, we might not be able to solve all these problems the way it's supposed to be solved. If you're going to retrace back, in those days when I was very young, when I'm traveling to Ekiti with my father then, I'm an Ekiti man, you're going to see products on the road, as young as I was, products on the road. And then the owner will put a kind of money beside that product, either a bunch of plantain, yam, maize, walnuts, and all that. You pick the one you want to pick, and then you drop the money there. And the owner will come back and remove his money at the end of the day. Nobody there touch it. Number one. Number two, prisoners then were being used to cut the bushes by the road. And when they see people traveling, people moving, they cover their faces. They don't want people to see them. I don't know whether you understand.
Yeah.
Three, there is when I was coming to Lagos, that's why the father, my father is a learned person. Those principles of those days. He said, Dayo, this Lagos you are going, make sure you don't spoil my name. I'm not asking you to go and buy car for me. I have cars in my company that I ride. I'm not asking you to bring clothes for me. I have enough. Ensure that you keep the family's name. Those are the things in those days. Do we still have them now? We have seen all these boys, internet boys and all that buy cars for their parents, build houses for their parents, without asking them questions.
Okay.
All right? We have seen people that goes to jail and they now come out. They come back from jail and now in the houses of assemblies, becoming a member house of reps, here and there, becoming political leaders. Okay? So it means our value system, to a very large extent, had been washed away. And to now add salt to injuries, the injuries that the society had inflicted on the people. You now see even the politicians now arming all this, giving them arms and ammunition during elections.
But again,
and you
that's
see
also
them,
a fault of whose fault is that?
I will get there. I will get to whose fault it is there. But I'm just taking it one after the other so that we can know how to solve this issue. You see politicians giving arms and ammunition to children, small boys. All right? Using them during elections. And after elections, do they take time to collect those arms and ammunition back? No. All these guys that are being used, they have been taught how to take drugs. Do they try as much as possible to recalibrate their brain back to what it used to be, to reformat it to what it used to be? And then you now see them after elections and the politicians are no more using them, they now go out to do all sort of things. All right? Now, how do politicians now get these people to use? To a very large extent, the so-called politicians too have destroyed the institutions that keeps families together. For instance, when you go to the church, because they're also in the church, okay, the church will tell you, pay your tithes. I'm sorry about that. Not only church, all the religious, whatever, pay tithe of 50,000 so that you can get 100,000 and all that. So nobody is now trying to tell people, the youth, on how to effectively work hard to be able to do something.
Okay.
Go to Obakran. Obakran in those days, around 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, you see a lot of people moving. People who are just closing from the office.
Now,
but all those industries now, churches had bought them.
Okay, Dr.
So where are they?
I will come to that briefly. You know, you've raised a lot of talking points.
Sure.
But again, there are other issues that need to be addressed. And one of which is the fact that we even have this situation in highbrow Victoria Island, which is now getting out of hand. And I would like us to take this background report on security situation really on the Lagos Island. And we'll be back with our discussion.
The spate of insecurity across the country as a result of banditry attacks, kidnapping, terrorism and robbery have remained a source of worry to many with regards to the capability of the security agencies. A case in point is the increased level of armed robbery in Lagos, with victims mounting daily. This situation is posing threats to lives and property. Of 10 persons, 6 have tales of woe about personal attacks in most parts of the state. The metropolis, believed to be more secured, is becoming even more dangerous, with many high-risk spots known for traffic robbery, extortion, pickpocketing, which is becoming a lifestyle, particularly at night and sometimes in the early hours of the day.
Everybody is trying to do one thing or the other to make money. And it's not safe. Even Aja, mostly I come from Aja to Nikon every day and it is not safe. I've seen them stab a girl right in front of me and snatch her phone. Even Obalende of lately, they were having this crazy riot, tear gas everywhere, bullets.
And then based on the effort of the parents, who are the parents having enough time to counsel their children, to actually allow their children to live according to the means of the parents too. They are not giving normal counseling to the children. So that is actually affecting the society.
Victoria Island, for instance, is both a residential area and a business district with heavy security presence, where the military and police headquarters as well as the naval base are situated. In spite of this, people still get robbed and harassed by men of the underworld.
There was a time I parked my vehicle and it was a Toyota Corolla. By the time I came out, it was vandalized, which was not so before. It was vandalized. The brain box was removed. The window controls were removed, which wasn't so before.
Every now and then, commuters, motorists and residents come under siege by these unscrupulous elements who have no mercy for their victims, a situation security experts attribute to lack of adequate data due to the influx of unidentified persons to the states.
As we are now, especially in this Lagos, we should be able to manage people, especially people that are strange in the places where we live. So I advise that every estate, every community should have a security council. And that security council should have a security consultant, a firm that they liaise with, to help them generate and interrogate all their challenges and provide the proper solutions.
It is the hope of Nigerians that a more veritable means will be adopted in tackling crime and criminality and related security situations across the country. In Lagos, Lane Lenake, NTA News.
All right, now you've listened to that background report, and I'll just like to take it again from where that report stopped. And I would like to ask Patrick Agbambu, who is actually live via Zoom, how do you think that security can be better dealt with so that we don't have the kind of issues that we have today being raised almost on a daily basis?
Security will always be, there must always be a security challenge all over. There's no nation that has no one security challenge or the other. So you can't have a situation where you don't have insecurity. There must be one challenge or the other. But how can we manage security situation? We have to manage it from three fronts. One is the home, the family system. Dr. Dyer was talking about our value system, which has been eroded. That is one. Two is the community, the society, understanding that the security is in their hands. And so they must work to ensure that they protect themselves. You don't become lackadaisical, or you don't care because you have not been attacked or been affected, and so you don't care what happens. So that is that. Then the third is the government, and this is in order. The most important one is the family, followed by the community. Government is the least of all, but sadly in Nigeria we think that government should be the lead in terms of security. No, government is the least in terms of security provision for us to be secure. And when I talk about government, I also mean the security agencies, the government security agencies that are charged, and they must be empowered to be able to do what they need to do. But if the first level is taken care of properly, the second level taken care of properly, then the third level will have nothing or less to do, and then it's only then that you have a secured society. Without these three things taken care and working together, I bet you that we'll keep on going round the circle, beating around the circle, no matter the amount of weapons you give to the lead security agency in internal security of the Nigerian police, no matter the amount of weapons you give to them, no matter the sophistication, everything, no matter how you improve their salary and their welfare, if the first level and the second level do not do their work properly, you continuously have insecurity challenge in the country.
Now, sorry, perhaps I could quickly add this with what he said, because I thought he was going to mention it when he was talking about the family.
Okay.
All right. You see, there's supposed to be a kind of a synergy in terms of training all these children, because I remember in those days, I prefer my father or my mother to find me doing something that is wrong, for them to discipline me, than a neighbor to see me. I can give you an instance. There are two guys now that they're my very good friends. One of them, right, very close to my children. But then, there was a day I went to their school, and they were now telling me about this boy's behavior in the school. I have to tell you, oh boy, look, I don't want you in my house again if you are not going to change. This boy later entered Unilag. Presently now is one of the leading students in Unilag. Unlike another guy that I disciplined was sagging on the streets. I was going to office and I saw him sagging. I dropped from my car. I warned him. The guy was trying to form. I said, you are forming to me? I gave him a dirty slap. I said, to hell with you. I'm telling you what. Could you believe that the mother came back to say, how can you do this to my son? How can you this? How can you that? The guy now is a drug addict. So these are issues. Because you see, mother and father, they will have gone out early in the morning on economic activities. Who I guide those children? So it should be other neighbors.
So for you, it takes a village to
raise. It takes the village to raise
to raise.
Yes, not just the
Now,
family.
Mr.
There should be a synergy.
Mr. Gambo raised the point that I would like to talk about, which brings me to the recent statement credited to the Minister of Defense, where he said Nigerians, should not run away from bandits. We should take up the fight, even as a community, even as a people. I'd like to pose that question to Matthew Ibadan, who is actually the chairman of the PCRC. You lead a community, you have Victoria Island really under your care in terms of policing, right? Would you say that such statements would go a long way in helping our current issues?
Yes, thank you very much for having me. I think the ministers actually speak, they spoke the mind of the people.
Okay.
It's a fundamental human right for you to defend yourself. It's in the constitution. So we don't even need the minister to actually pronounce such statements. It's your right to protect yourself whenever there is danger. But what matters most in terms of community policing, there is what we call partnership between the community and the police, which is very critical for us to safeguard our community.
Does that partnership exist?
It does, yes. But I think what we need to do, really, what we need to talk about today is, let's look beyond just community partnership with the police. Let's look at why do we have crime in Nigeria. The reason is because the youth doesn't even have light to operate their businesses.
Okay.
As far as the people don't have light, the youth don't have light to operate their businesses. Even in the Bible, the first thing God created was let there be light. The truth is, as the government provides light for the Nigerians youth to succeed, the answer is no. As far as there is no light, there will be insecurity in Nigeria. And we advise the government should declare a state of emergency on power. Because most of our youths are talented. But the truth is there is no light for them to be able to do their businesses. That is where we're having issues. Somebody who's supposed to use light to do his business, if there is no light, he has to go and commit crime. So this is what we are having in Nigeria. So what we need most is there must be light for us to move on as a nation. That is one of the requirements I think we need to meet as a nation. As far as there is no light, insecurity will continue to be the talk of the
town. Sir, he has not answered that question.
Yeah.
He dodged it.
He dodged it.
And I will not allow you to dodge it. So, he dodged it. Let me tell you.
Okay.
What the minister has said can be adduced to failure of responsibility.
Of security institutions.
Failure of responsibility. You are the minister of defense. All right? The minister of defense means you are to defend the territorial integrity of Nigeria and to ensure that businesses and lives and properties are secured in Nigeria. Whether it's written in the constitution or not, that is immaterial. Yes, we know. But under the guise in which he spoke is abdication of responsibility. All right? Now, let's go further because you have already opened that can. Let us go further. And then look at Lagos State insecurity in total perspective. Because there is no way you can remove Lagos State from the system called Nigeria. The present government has failed totally when it comes to issue of security. And I've been saying it, not until the president, because all Bob stops on his table.
Okay.
So there is no way we talk of insecurity without talking of the president.
But now let's Now, you've talked about the presidency, but let's localize it now. I want to bring in the PPRO to respond.
Even in the locality, you cannot remove it from the whole system.
Now, Dr. Kaude, let me just bring the PPRO quickly to respond to some of the things that have been said. PPRO, sir, there are issues, and I know you've listened to them. Really, how do we be? It is the responsibility of the police, but I also find in some areas, because I live in Lagos, I work at night, I work during the day, but these days we now have people saying they're even scared to come out either early in the mornings or to go home late at night. How did we get here, and what is the police doing? Because now I have to place the emphasis on what is the police doing. I know I was sharing a situation with you earlier. I don't know if you listened. But one of my bosses, just even yesterday, early in the morning, he was heading to work. And at gunpoint, he was robbed at Obalinde. You know, and we have issues like this persisting on a daily basis. PPRO.
Well, let me misuse of words is the greatest cause of error. You don't record that singular incident on daily basis. I would not agree to that. Then back to the issues being raised so far. We are taking the matter from the basics. The way we handle no moral values again, no respect for culture, no respect for human rights, dignity, and the likes. Those are the basis for various dimensions into some of the crimes we have in our contemporary society. But the police institution, as a responsible institution, has devised certain means of curtailing these new dimensions into crimes in our contemporary society. The police, don't forget, the police has established PCLC for a very long time. Thank God the chairman there is there. Police Community Relations Committee has been there for a very long time. It's because we know the men on uniform alone cannot do this job. It's a collective responsibility. We have always been urging people to see policing as a civil responsibility. And every individual in our society must be incorporated into policing structure of this country. Aside from the PCLC that we have established, recently the president has just consented to the creation and establishment of community policing concept, the PET project of the Inspector General of Police. This one, people will be recruited in their locality, in various communities. They will be trained by the police and sent back to their various local government councils. This is what we have done in Lagos State in December. And of course, I think first week of January this year, we passed those we recruited in Lagos State, 1,250. The Lagos State government assisted us to recruit them. And they have been trained at the Police College, Ikeja. They have been sent back to their various local government councils to assist DPOs in carrying out certain responsibilities to assist us in having effective policing of our contemporary society and of course vis-a-vis our localities. In the police, we have done proper analysis of these dimensions into various crimes. Don't forget, apart from kidnapping, we have abduction, which is different from kidnapping.
Yeah.
Every kidnapping abduction is abduction, but not every abduction is kidnapping. There are certain things we need to understand and do proper analysis. That's what the police has been doing now to see how we can do proper analysis of some of these issues we're having. If you are to be listing cases and incidences, I think your time on this program will not be enough for us to do that. But to cut it short, let me tell you, in Lagos, let us narrow down the scope to Lagos so that I can get it right. In Lagos, I mentioned traffic robbery. I was about mentioning gangsterism when the network was bad. Gangsterism is another thing that we need to look into. These boys who engage in this don't belong to any cult group. They will just wake up, carry cutlasses, sticks, and the likes, and break in people's vehicles in our streets, particularly on the Lagos Island. If you can still remember, we have gangsterism.
Yes.
We have cultism. That's one of the problems, challenges we have in Lagos State. Let me say this, in the last 1.5 years, we have not recorded any case of kidnapping in Lagos State. I stand to be corrected. We have not. So if we go through the records, the empirical facts we have on ground to do proper analysis of some of these crimes, we'll see that cultism, gangsterism, traffic robbery, there are three entities that cannot be separated. They are highly inseparable, the three of them. And we have done another analysis to know that most of these boys, the so-called cultists, they are being used by some chiefs in various communities.
Yes.
To get relevance.
Yes.
To fight for land grabbing,
yes,
and the likes.
So are those people not identified? Can't you identify those people and bring them to book?
No. We have arrested many, and that's why we went to Ikorodu. If you can still recollect that we went to Ikorodu for town hall meeting, the first of its kind. after many years in Lagos State. The CP initiated this. We went to Ikorodu, and we had a meeting with all of them.
Yeah.
The cabinet of Ikorodu said it, and we raised a communique. Any chief or traditional ruler caught in the web of promoting cultism, gangsterism, or crimes in his domain will be sanctioned by the state government. We formed a communique, and the Commissioner of Police gave the communique personally to Mr. Governor Abaji Sanwo-Olu of Lagos State. And the government is working on this. I think there's going to be a black and white document on this communique we have done from the angle of the state government. We have noticed that cultism forms basis for all violent crimes in Lagos State. Talk of kidnapping, armed robbery, traffic robbery, murder, gangsterism, land grabbing, and the likes. That's why we want to tackle cultism in totality. And this we have been doing. We have been arresting them, we've been taking them to court, and we have been working with the state government to see how we can have proper prosecution of cases concerning these crimes we have in the state. We are working with the Attorney General of the state to see how we can fast track some of the cases we have on ground. We give it to the governor of Lagos State.
About courts at the garage.
We have mobile court in Noshodi. Any offenses committed, we take it to mobile court within a day. This time around, we do cases and we prosecute cases, except those cases that are capital offenses that we need to go through processes, DPP giving us advice, going to.
Now, PPRO, one of my guests in the studio just mentioned one particular issue, and I would like to raise that issue with you, or maybe he would raise it personally with you, but we'll do that right after this break. Let's go on a short break. We'll be back.
Welcome to another interesting episode of The Panel.
We must always point out what June 12th really meant. Where is the aspiration of the youths, of the masses?
Workers are celebrated the world over. Health programs to build capacity of maybe nurses.
All of us were once children, and if you look back on our upbringing,
government to partner with different organizations and individuals.
Just engineers. This takes care of all professionals in this area.
That's how much we can take on the program today. Many thanks for watching, and don't forget that the program continues. All right, many thanks for rejoining us. And if you're just joining us, we're actually looking at the dynamics of insecurity in Lagos State today. But before I went on that break, I wanted Dr. Dayo to actually raise one pertinent issue. You mentioned it, but I'd just like you to raise it with the PPRO, Lagos State Police Command.
The PPROs, as much as I appreciate what you guys have been doing in Lagos State, I would just want to know what you people have been doing towards all these touts that we have at car parks. But when you go deep into it, you see that it's all these touts too that are always engaging in cultism and all that, and killing themselves. Even harassment. Look at, I was going to Tabo sometimes last week. You know Tabo around Agege axis. I was coming from Iju-Shaga Road, you know, now to enter through where they're doing that bridge at Penn Cinema to enter. There was one market there, that one road that passes through, they blocked that road. Okay, then I said I should have to go and pass again through Akilo and all that and enter from the. When I got to that place again, blocked again. But then, with all those blockages, I have to park my car inside the local government secretariat there. I now trekked. My brother, what I saw at those railway crossing, all those areas. Come and see all these touts. They are all touts. By the time it's 7 o'clock, they will start collecting phones. So what are you people doing into all those interiors to be able to curb the menace of criminality in Lagos? PPR.
Well, let me quickly react to that. You know, thuggery is another thing that is raising its eggs in our contemporary society. I was telling someone jokingly that after the government and the command have done one or two things to make sure we have security in Lagos State, we should do a special project operation that will be for anti-thuggery in Lagos State. Go to anywhere you see young boys of 16. Those have been releasing their names for one offense on the other. They are just 16, 17, 18. And when you engage them, you discover that they are always on drug. A boy of 16 talking and foam everywhere in his mouth, mouth foaming. You know that's hyper level of drug consumption and the likes. And it's a big problem. At times when they even accost me, they will be hailing me, want to collect money from even me, that I'm a police officer in uniform, for you to know how bad it's going to is. There's no regard for anybody. So if we actually want to work on this, I don't believe, many will always tell you, is a result of unemployment, whatever unemployment. It's not the issue of unemployment. Many people come into Lagos on daily basis without any vision or mission. No goal, nothing. They just want to come to Lagos and let them come and live in Lagos, sleep and wake up, that one day it go better. And I think because the Constitution provides for that, you have right to live anywhere you want to live. But I think we need to do more in that area to see how we can actually checkmate the essence of these young guys who just sleep, wake up, and just to foment trouble. There's no how you want to be idle, and you not be borrowed or used by the devil. There's no how you want to be. So, thirdly is a common thing. And the issue of parks and garages, I think we are trying to see how we can work with some unions recently. If you can still recollect that recently we had an issue at Obalende, union problem, that the command waded into that, arrested some people, and we involved the government. And the matter was resolved. And I think we are doing more in this area to see how these unions can actually normalize the way they operate at various parks and garages, using drugs, selling of alcohol, using touts to woo customers and insulting or assaulting customers. I was telling one of them one day that was using his hand to hit a girl. I said, have you ever heard of anything we call indecent assault on female? True. Behold, the guy knew nothing about indecent assault. Most of them, when they want to take woo customers to their vehicles, they harass, they touch, they do all these things, and these are criminal offenses. But many of them don't even know these are criminal offenses. When a man touches a woman without the woman's consent, at least that's indecent assault on female.
But when a woman touches a man without his consent too. When a woman touches a man without his consent, what do you call
that is also a criminal offense. I'm sure the PPRO will agree to that. But Matthew Ibadan was actually wanting to. You were yearning to say something earlier.
Yeah, I think really we are talking of unemployment that is causing insecurity in Nigeria, which is the fact. But the truth is, the system of government we operate also make us to know that insecurity is a collective problem we are facing as a nation. The kind of system of government we operate. For example, we operate through federalism. And this concept was borrowed in America. In America, a state governor will be able to formulate and translate policy into reality. But in Nigeria, a state governor needs to call Abuja for them to be able to formulate any policy. And a state governor is called chief security. But in practice, they are not. So, and even local governments, they don't have power at all. So this is where we are having challenges. When a governor governs a state, and the governor cannot actually determine how the security of his state will be able to, come up with a strategy without calling Abuja, it becomes a very big problem.
Is that not where the community policing concept comes in?
Yeah, the community policing comes in to partner with the police, not to partner with the government in power.
Okay.
The concept of PCROC was set up by the police. That means for community to partner with the police. So what I'm saying in essence is the government in power, for example, a governor, on their own, they are having challenges. Because they are having challenges, that is why we are having insecurity. A governor cannot, as a matter of fact, make a pronouncement without going through
what kind of
center.
pronouncement, sir? What kind of pronouncement?
What kind of pronouncement are you talking
in terms of what?
When you say pronouncement, understand what I'm trying to say. For example, most of the commissioner of police, they don't report directly to the governor.
I beg to
hold
disagree.
on. Let me just tell you this. As far as a governor who governs a state, like in America, the state in America, they have their own jurisdiction. They have their own autonomous to formulate and translate their policy.
Do you know there's what we call federal police in America, and then we have metropolitan police?
Hold on.
So each and every one of them, they have their lines of authority and reportage.
What I'm trying
also here.
No, let me land. What I'm saying in Nigeria, the governors, the power they have as the chief security officer is not autonomous.
It's because they don't know how to use their powers.
The constitution does not. It is the constitution.
They don't know how to
Patrick Agambo to react to some of the issues that my panelists here in the studio are actually arguing about. And then how do we resolve these issues, really?
Yeah, it's like in Nigeria, our governors, our state governors are the most powerful political office holders. I disagree with my brother there talking about the governors being incapacitated or them not, the commissioner of police not reporting to the governor. Like the PPRO River State, Lagos State, my brother, he talked about after the meeting in Ikorodu, the CP walked to the governor and presented their communique. The CP didn't present this communique to the IGP, didn't have to come to the IGP. Any governor who knows his work will be able to do his work. It's just an excuse. The issue about reporting to Abuja is just in case of administration, in case of any issue. It's not practically, it's not so. And a governor who says that he doesn't have control of the police, he wants the police to do other things other than securing the state for the people. Or unless something issue of political, then the commissioner of police will say, no, I will not do this. Let Abuja talk to me. If it has to do political, but if it's in terms of securing the state, look, the governor and the CP will always work together hand in hand. They talked about the issue of unemployment being the major cause of insecurity.
And can I also add drug abuse to that?
Drug abuse is, in fact, drug abuse is a factor that leads to so many insecurity around, so many people committing so many crimes. Like the PPRO did mention about a 16-year-old boy still being addicted to drugs. And it is true. You see them later everywhere in Lagos and all corners in our country, both in the north and in the south and east, everywhere. So drug abuse is a major problem. Until we take away drug, if you take away drug from a criminal, he will not have any motivation to even commit the crime. He will not be charged to commit those crimes. So drug is a major issue, and I'm happy that the Lagos State Police Command working seriously in that regard. They have raided so many of the black spots in terms of drug sales and drug consumption, and so that we must give them the kudos. More still needs to be done with the synergy with the NDLA and in schools. In parents, like we also always say, if a child is hooked on drugs, because it starts from little, it's somebody, a child that is 16 or 10 and is taking drugs, the parents will definitely know if they are observant, if they know what they're doing. So that's why at the beginning we lay the foundation that insecurity begins from whole families. If they don't do what they should do, then before they now go out and become nuisance to the society. So really, I believe that with what is happening, I must tell you this, in as much as the prologue you gave to us talked about insecurity, especially in the island and all that, Lagos State is leading in terms of crime control in Nigeria today. In terms of fighting crime, Lagos State is leading. You need to visit some other states in the federation and see how the issues are. And,
All right. Yes,
the
Mr.
security
Patrick,
agencies.
I quite agree. I quite agree with you that the state police, I mean the Lagos State Police Command, are doing quite a lot, as well as other security.
That is when you are looking at it comparatively
to other states.
We are looking at it comparatively.
Yes, they are doing quite a lot. But although these issues still persist,
but then they can still do a lot more.
Now, before I let you speak, Mr. Matthew, let's quickly take this vox pop, because we also like to hear from the people on the street their opinion about the insecurity situation in Lagos State.
I live in Ikorodu, but I don't think we are that safe, like unlike before, because like my area in Agric, there are a lot of things going on. A lot of things been going on. The police are not there. In fact, if police eventually come into the area, they are even friends with those guys. In fact, as I'm talking now, I'm even fed up of my area. I'm planning of moving out from that very place.
Sometimes when I come back late, especially at night, when I close from work, it's not that safe because of all those boys that sit around. You get all these Aburi guys. So sometimes they easily steal some people's items. You get if you're not careful. So it's not advisable for somebody to, like I stay in Male and Bariga especially. So it's not advisable for anybody coming back late to come at that time 8 or 9 or something like that.
After the last operation answer stuff, guys was taking advantage about that, and then try to attack people. So, but these days, I think we are having peace.
To understand, everybody is providing security for themselves. Even in my visit, we are paying for security that at least that will guide us throughout the night. So, but we are moving I think I'm coming from home now and I'm going to my place of assignment. So we are still good for now.
I live in the midst of military personnel. So those who lost, they don't used to come there. We secure a little bit because they were afraid of the military that's surrounding us. So but my people at Agbado and First Tank, they are not secured. Even when they come out early morning to go to work, they attack them and collect their phone from them. So please, you can use this opportunity to tell our governor he should put all the security police, he should try all his best to give us enough security level.
Welcome back. You just heard from the people there on the street, really giving some of their insights and some of their challenges into our present topic today. But before we went on that break, Mr. Matthew Ibadan wanted to chip in, especially on the last issues that he was raising earlier.
Yeah, that is why I don't agree with Mr. Patrick. I think when you talk of system of government, it reflects the kind of society you find ourselves. When you look at the principle that govern through federalism, we don't practice it in Nigeria. If you look at exclusive list, and you look at concurrent list, or you look at residual list, everything is centered into exclusive list. Okay. In the sense that the government in power, that is the federal government, everything is centered around the federal government. For example, you are talking of insecurity, you have to be telling Buhari to come and secure you in your own locality. We're supposed to at least let the state governor or even the local government be the one we can be calling to come and secure us. For example, you cannot even bring the local government chairperson or chairman in your area. That means these are people in the constitution supposed to be held accountable. As we speak, we cannot blame the governor for not giving us security, even in Lagos State, in Edo State, even in Kano State. So, if you look at it from that perspective, you find out that it's boiled down to the type of government we run in Nigeria, which is the federal government we run. So what I'm saying in essence is, in America, mayor is so powerful. by which he secures his people in his locality. The governor is so powerful. In Nigeria, local government cannot even provide their own personal security in their own domain, talking of the people that live in the community. This is what I'm trying to make, for example. This is the point I'm trying to make. What I'm saying in essence is, through federalism, that we enable governor to be held accountable for security. This is what we need.
There is
for
nothing
example,
like true federalism.
For example,
Federalism is federalism.
For example,
you are just putting true.
For example, in
I have
Nigeria,
control. I am as small as I am in my own neighbor. Listen to this.
Of course,
I don't want us to educate the public with wrong notion. Okay. Listen to this. It is only governors that doesn't know their onions that will always run to Abuja for security cases. Or when it's now mixing politics. When it's mixing politics with security, there'll be issue. Let me tell you what happened within my neighborhood. There was one DPO that was brought down there, and boys came to report to me that this person sent somebody out to be harassing them. And look at this, look at that. And I said, is that true? They say, yes. And I went there. When they saw me, they say, dog. I said, no, I've not come here to play with anybody. I've come here to come and fight. Please, look at this. Do you understand? And between you and me, I'm not a governor. I'm not a local government chairman. I'm not a councillor. Between you and me, the relationship changed. And in my area, even activities of courtism was reduced drastically to near zero.
Okay, I think
because of some of us, I wouldn't say only me, some of us intervention. I know what I'm saying. It is not about exclusive or whatever list. It is about look at the minister.
Let us not discuss.
It's not about.
Excuse me, you are getting the point right.
No,
let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question.
Please go ahead.
In America,
yes.
Have you been there? Excuse me.
Have you been there?
Hold on.
Because me have been there.
Hold on.
Okay, you know what?
In the system of government we operate, what I mean, the type of system we operate is what we borrow from America. In America, the state governors, they pay tax to the federal government.
Yes.
In Nigeria, federal government pay money to the state government.
The issue is,
excuse me,
I will explain it to you.
I think you are getting this wrong.
People don't understand how it works. I will tell you how it works.
I understand that tensions are rising.
It's not even about tension. It's about educating ourselves.
Of course, while we are educating people, we also have to understand that this program.
There's no doubt about it. We know that we need restructuring in Nigeria. We need restructuring. But it's not about all these true federalism people are talking about. Federalism is federalism. Nothing like true federalism.
And we need solutions to
resolve. It is tautology.
Of course. And we need solutions to resolve this particular issue that we are currently being faced with. And just again to quickly round up, because we need solutions.
When you are talking about solutions, when you are talking about solutions now, there are just three aspects. Social, psychological, and social, economic, and political. 3. 1. If all our politicians should desist from arming these people with arms and ammunition, they won't be yes. On economic ground, excuse me, let these people be gainfully employed. Give them an enabling environment to be able to live accordingly. Not that you will be giving them minimum wage 30,000, and then you will use one or two things to remove that. On the social side, we should look back to our values, our value system. We have to go back to our value system and teach all these people, and then ensure that we mentor our children very well.
All right, now Mr. Matthew, quickly, solutions.
Solution is 1, we must practice what we preach. First of all, we must practice the fundamentals that make up true federalism. A situation whereby the local government chairperson or chairman will be accountable what happened in their domain. Like what we understand that is what American government practice in their own domain. That is number 1. Number 2 is
10 more seconds.
No, we can go ahead.
All right. So, let me quickly go to the PPRO to give us just 30 seconds of some of the solutions that you might have in mind.
Well, from the angle of the police, we always clamor for better legal framework so that we'll be able to have quick dispensation of justice. We need to review some of our laws to conform with the present happenings in the world. There are some laws that are obsolete, and these laws must be reviewed so that we'll be able to be more effective in this modern day system. Secondly, there is what we call multi-track diplomacy in having effective policing of our nation. These tracks are many, up to 9 or 10 of them. The government is number one, the police, individuals, sectors, traditional rulers or traditional institutions, religious leaders, and the likes. So most of these tracks must come together to form a system and see how we can harmonize all our resources together to have better security in our state or in our nation. Let me say this: in Nigeria, we believe so much in our religious leaders.
More to say, but we're actually running out of time, and I would also like Mr. Patrick Agambu to give us his final words.
Thank you very much. I think for solution, I agree with what the PPRO is talking about and what Doctor is talking about in terms of the structure. We must get the family, that's the basic, that is the foundational. We must get it right. We must also make sure that those who are charged with protecting our lives, which is the law enforcement agencies, the Nigerian police, and others, are well taken care of. We must provide them with welfare and the tools to do their work. In the issue of our true federalism does not work, because let me tell you, in the United States, from the January 1st till yesterday, the gun death is about 6.
Mr. Patrick, all right. I think you've made your point, and your point is actually clearly noted and clearly understood. Thank you so much, my panelists, for coming on the program today. Mr. Patrick Agambu, CEO, Security Watch Africa Initiative. The PPRO, Lagos State Police Command, Muyiwa Adejobi, thank you so much. Matthew Ibadin, Chairman, PCRC, Victoria Island, thank you so much.
Thank you for having
Dr. Dayo Kayode, Political Technocrat and Aviation Safety Experts. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
And just to round up this particular topic, I think it is also quite pertinent to state that security is everyone's business, and we should really and very much be conscious and aware of our environment when we move around and when we go to work. Even at home, we should be very security conscious. Also, just to note that cyber security is also something that many Nigerians and Lagosians should also be very careful about, because that's actually also a very important thing. Many thanks for watching on the program today, and we do hope you join us same time next week.